streams live. Hello, everybody. This is Coach Denny from Keiser Seahawks. We are about to start our first LAN game, first in Sun Conference history. So we're going to go ahead and introduce the teams coming out. There might be a double feedback with the stream, but we're doing stuff internally while they do stuff digitally. So without further ado, here is the St. Thomas University Bobcats, led by their coach, Coach Skillings.
And now introducing the Keiser Seahawks, led by Coach Denny.
playoff bracket does end up looking like. I'm not sure if you have a better idea on how that is going to look like. I would imagine, though, with 6 teams, we are realistically just going to be seeing it as that 4-team semifinals type of situation. But who knows, right? Keiser University, though, they need that 2 slot, right? They want that better seeding. They want to be able to come in with a little bit of an advantage. If not, it does get a little bit more detrimental, but ideally they'll have something to play towards, and that's going to be this game, right? If you can win this out here, that's going to be nice. If not, it does get a little bit more unfortunate, but we'll have to just kind of wait and see.
I think it's exciting. I mean, these 2 teams, they've been prepping for this for so long. It's a big one in terms of the overall standings, and I think we talk about Keiser. I don't know that they're going to be able to catch Warner, especially because that's who their 1 loss is against, but even just being the 2nd seed versus possibly dropping down even further can really affect where and when you're going to go. And then, of course, having some of that home court advantage, always nice to feel as well. So these teams, obviously, this is not their first semester. They played back in fall. Now they're playing in spring, so a lot to build across of. Warner was very good in fall as well, so getting to see their dominance is really no surprise here going into this session of play. And that's the good news for most of these teams, is it's a building block on top of each other. Even if some of these players are graduating, even if some of these players are leaving, it's what you can build and learn from here to take it on to the next generation of your next season esports team.
Yeah, and if you can really build that program well, you certainly have that opportunity to be competing with those top-tier colleges, right? You look towards places like Fisher, Northwood, all of them. That's what they've done, right? They've built up these programs from the ground up, and that kind of alma mater that comes through and sends their knowledge to the the future players. That's it's a real nice way to kind of keep the program alive. And I do ideally think that this is exactly what you want if you're Keiser, right? Being able to host these matches with other schools, building these relationships, having this energy. It's super nice, right? This is easily one of the coolest things I've seen in collegiate esports, and I'd love to see this continue.
I mean, it's a really good gentleman's agreement. It's a really good environment to be inside of. And for all these teams, you know, you get to learn from being in that in-person environment as well. It'd be exciting for these 2 teams to face off. I'm hoping we get more of these throughout the course of the year and through the next couple of years, because a lot of these schools are really compacted. That's the way we kind of schedule these divisions out, is they're compacted into these different locations all across the United States. So specifically here, kind of focusing on more of that Midwest area, you get to see teams that can make those travels out and can finally go and see the opponent that they've been talking trash to all season long behind the screen.
Yeah, and there's a real world, right, where like we will be seeing that happen. It's very, very close, though, right, in terms of proximity, as you had mentioned, but in terms of just generally, right, these 2 esport programs, they've been around for a while. They've been going at it, and I just want to kind of keep on going, right? We're going to be seeing this coming into fruition relatively soon, but just to kind of give you a little bit of an overlay, right, of what this night is going to look like, right? We have the Sun Conference coming up first. It is St. Thomas versus Keiser, as we've been mentioning. We've been hitting that consistently, but then after that, right, we're going straight on in. It's going to be that mid-sun coming through as FHU takes on Cumberland University, a big David versus Goliath matchup, as Cumberland is definitely going to be that top tier team everyone's looking at. And then we move on to TCU to end off the night, to the Buffalo Chasers taking on the CMN Ravens, to end it off. It's 3 big games, 3 phenomenal matches of Rocket League we're going to be entering. And Llama, I'm just so excited to see kind of how this night's going to progress. Will we be seeing any heroic plays, any big clip moments, or will it just be a little bit of a night of Rocket League to remember?
I think it's always going to be one to remember. And I think you mentioned that second match. You talk about Cumberland. It's interesting to kind of pull them out for a second and talk about just their success as a program. They've had success, it seems like, across almost every single esport they've been a part of, even here in EGF. They just recently made top 8 in CRL. They look like the best team. And what's even crazier is they've had a different starting lineup for every single game of EGF. They've got 6 different players that it feels like if you split them up into 3-3, they could start anywhere else in the country. But back to our first match. Here we go. It's a land match between Keiser and St. Thomas.
on into the bench. It's already looking pretty good for St. Thomas University. But as they let that aggression start to get repelled, it's not going to be too heavily impacting the rest of this game, right? It's still both teams. A nice goal on target as Lux will instantly pull it off, and this was what I was talking about, right? They instantly have a phenomenal kickoff, sending it back to that Keiser University net, unable to make the goal, but they keep on playing alive. They keep on taking that dynamic positioning, leaving Keiser in the dust. It's that high energy, high velocity gameplay that's going to send St. Thomas to that upset potential.
And what I really like was the decision making there. From Julian went for the boost, and Lux just decided, you can have the boost, I'll take the goal. You're the last man back. You can't be jumping for that one. So immediately punishing just a slight mistake and forcing them into this back end here. Vander trying to find the counter goal for Keiser. They fly to the sky. Reese can't get the double as Swizz finds the clear. It does he. Julian finds a centering ball.
A little bit concerned at this point. It seems like St. Thomas University might have a bit of an idea of, we're going to play very slow and just hope that this defense will hold. But when you don't take the initiative, when you don't play proactively on the offense, it certainly can be a detriment that needs to be filled. As of now, St. Thomas University, they need to pull this back, but it is looking like this Keiser University, they halted it. Oh, CR Erdl gonna be able to make something happen, which you do love to see, as there was possibilities. You saw two players working up the pitch and only one on the defense. St. Thomas starting to overextend. I do like that, right? Despite having a little bit of a difficult situation to play out of, it shows that they're not happy with one goal. They know that this is possible to be able to win, and they're gonna look to make this happen in a landslide.
This is also a nice lead to hold, I think, for St. Thomas. Strike first. A nice little demo from Reese does sort of staunch the offense that's coming straight at him. And Swizz doesn't even need the shot. Lux rings one in off the crossbar.
2 shots, 2 goals as Lux finds a second. Same angle. They played from this right side both times and have been able to work magic into the goal. And it's just looking so phenomenal for this St. Thomas University roster. 3 minutes remain as Keiser University. Yes, it's not over, but yes, it is going to be difficult. Reese going to be able to find this ball, taking possession for at least just a moment. But as they are contested, they send it high, bring it down, centered. No follow-up is available. Their third man plays very far back, and that's going to be something that'll be working for the defense. But when you're down 2 goals, you need to play risky. You need to try and make something happen. St. Thomas gonna have to play the defense, but Reese sends it in. Keiser University puts themselves on the board.
Theoretical science in action here as Reese just takes the double, forces the pre-jump towards that left side post, and the defense never had a chance. Finally, Keiser on the board. It took about half this game to find that first goal, but more importantly, they've cut the lead back to 1. And as you said, it seems like they've been in control of these first 2 minutes with the extra touches they've been getting from the corner, and those mid-air bumps have just been devastating. Another centering feed, another set of boost wasted, and Lux makes sure it gets cleared out this time.
Trying to make the 50-50 happen, but Reese will evade them. Elusive, and Reese sends it in. No congestion. That'll do it. 2-2. As Keiser University, without skipping a beat, will instantaneously pull this game back.
Incredible shot. I mean, Reese has been such a spark plug for this team throughout the entirety of the season, and finds themselves the equalizer. 2-2. Under halfway to go here. The Bobcats have got to now do something. Answering those goals is going to be much more important than just finding the defense of their own. But the defense is important too. Reese and the rest of the crew have been just dicing them up. Another good waterfall down to the ground.
Just to hit it high, try some drive it in, potentially won't be able to make that second touch happen. As it stays on course, Swizz trying to make any type of follow-up, but unfortunately nobody is going to be able to play from the backboard. Swizz once more, nice save as Lux is looking to follow up. Nobody on the defense, and Keiser University once again overextends, and St. Thomas University will absolutely be taking advantage.
They're just trying to play this third man forward heavy offense, and they get caught searching for boost once again. Without that third defender in the middle of the field. It's so hard to block some of those longer touches. And Keiser once again trails. They haven't led here in this first game, but they are only down by 1. Reese, a nice centering feed. The shot is there, but it's too powerful to the right side. And Lux once again plays it off the wall. Sets it to their teammate here. An incredible set of work. A backflip, and no goal comes from it.
But Lux able to refresh on the boost. It's not going to matter. Reese. Oh, man. It's absolutely dominant from Reese and Luck, as both players have been putting up magic as Reese scores their hat trick. St. Thomas Bobcats not going to be happy whatsoever. This lead that they've been consistently able to mount has just been that repetition that just instantly snuffs it out.
The solo work ethic. It's what's pushing them across the line right now. It's what's kept this game all tied up. Only another shot on board here, and for the Bobcats, you've got to play a decent defense, but also trying to find that one mistake. At this point, we're back to square one. A single goal could change everything. A fake towards the skyline. Julian sets up center again, but they can't get the 1-2-3 punch to the jaw quite yet. A recovery, a swift move, and Keiser just trying to assault the paint. A low-speed shot doesn't go.
Julian too far into net to be able to follow up on the ball's landing position. Is Luck gonna try and make 50-50 work. Sits in midfield, hesitant to move, but Vanderveen gonna be able to hold it down to the corner.
Julian carrying. 20 seconds on. Keiser. St. Thomas just locked in his 3-3 scoreline drought. Luck's just trying to go for the fadeaway and can't find it. Single digits. The backboard touch doesn't go. And Keiser just trying to send everybody. But was it too little, too late? Hertel on the low ground finds nothing. Julian the save. Is it overtime in game number 1 on land? It's a long shot there. Lux is trying to recoup, and that one will hit the ground. Extra time.
And this is the only way we could expect a LAN game of this proportion to go. Game 1, 3-3, overtime found. It is certainly going to be electric in that room. You got to imagine that these players, these coaches, these parents, everyone invested into this esport game is going to be on the edge of their seats as we are just waiting to see who will be the hero of this game. Luck and Reese have been good. As the Bobcats sit on the defense, Keiser looks to mount their attack. This offense looks nice, but it's already reclaimed.
They're lucky they got back in time there. They were out of boost. Reese wants to do it again. Double off the backboard, fakes it for the teammate. Vanderveen. Seconds doesn't go. It'll roll off the backside of the tires. And 45 seconds already accrued here in extra time. Julian wins the 1v1, but it doesn't result in quite anything yet. Just a back and forth, straight up headbutting battle. Nobody can find their offense.
Sets it up, but unfortunately, it will just go down once more. Oh man, Keiser University barely unable to drive that ball into net. As Vanderveen gonna try and keep that offense alive, but unfortunately stuck down as they are put into a little bit of a rock and a hard place. As they are able to give themselves a little bit more leeway. Keiser University sends it to the back, but Swizz has other words to say about it. Driving it off the backboard, not allowing Reese to be able to work on that any more than they already have been able to do. And Swizz, unfortunately, just not able to make anything happen. Minute 30, and it's looking difficult for the Keiser to get this goal in, as the defense from St. Thomas has been extraordinary.
It almost recoups them into a transition goal right there. Almost 2 extra minutes of game time played here in overtime. And Keiser just trying to fight their way through. Just trying to get something going that can find themselves a goal to end it. Nice backboard swerve. It threads the needle between 2, but the secondary isn't as good from Vander, and it lets it bounce for just a bit. No real boost on that blue side. Finally, they pick up some of their corner boost spawns and get to work. Reese is back to work in the paint. An awkward touchdown low that Lux got the pickup, got the demo, and continues the drive of fields.
We haven't seen a whole ton of demos tonight, but this is going to be the start of it. Possibilities, but Swizz once more. That's, I believe, like the 3rd or 4th save they've been able to find so far this game, and it's really been looking dominant from them. As we're down, it's going to be Reese hitting it centered, but Swizz takes advantage, and that's going to allow so much leeway. Swizz shot on target, but Vanderveen going to keep this game alive. as they send it back on to orange side territory. Won't be able to make anything happen just yet.
8 minutes of Rocket League here just in game number 1. Exhaustion, already you can imagine, has to be there. Tension high. And a good entry here from Keiser again. Nice touch from Vander off the wall, keeps it back and alive. But St. Thomas has got their number. The side reads from Reese. The secondary isn't there, but it's a double commit towards the post. But Julian isn't in a great enough position to get it. Demoed for their boost steal. And Luxa goes straight back to the sky. Good connection. Reese the center, and Vander gets blocked away.
The offense looks nice, but the game just keeps on going. Sent down to the corner of Keiser University. And St. Thomas, despite having 3 players all being able to make shots on them, they're still keeping this ball in contention. You know, whoever wins this game, their mental will be so high and in the sky. Their opposition looking at it from the depths. And another demo comes out, Swizz down, leaving them with 2 players. But the boost doesn't matter, that's Julian! Sends game 1, 4 minutes on the dot, and that will do it. Llama, an absolute domination at the very end as everyone running upfield, but it's only going to be Julian working by themselves, threading the needle. Everyone tries to stop them, but they spike the ball down.
I mean, wow, that's the only thing you can say. An incredible shot there at the end. Reese picks up the assist for just lobbing it up. But boy, that fake towards the backboard pulls both defenders and then just murders them on the second shot. Getting to see some of the stats here, Lux was able to score that hat trick. All 3 of the goals were in their favor, while on the other side, you saw a much different story. They were kind of sharing around all those shots, sharing around all those opportunities, and it felt like Keiser's offense was more active, where Lux was finding some of those mistakes on the back end. And for how big of a lead you started with for St. Thomas, it feels tough to lose that first game in such a fashion in almost 10 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah, that's absolutely devastating. If I'm on St. Thomas, I need to be resetting that mental, right? You cannot be allowing this team to be going into this hindered by some unfortunate feelings towards how that game 1 went. Now, I do believe they are going to be switching it up, right? Taking their setups down to the other PCs for both teams, right? Giving each other that chance to play on the main stage, I believe. So we'll see whether or not that Keiser University squad will be able to find series points. But instantaneously, I'm already imagining it 3 to 4, going 9 minutes in a single game of Rocket League, that this is going to be a game to remember for everyone involved.
I mean, this is going to be one of the best series we have ever watched here at EGF, just for the environment and then for the game 1 starter. I mean, there were some great things on either side. I think that St. Thomas recognized very early that they've got to trust their defense. They've got to play off some of those midfield touches, and Lux was doing exactly that. The problem is, now you get into this weird scenario. This is what happens with best of 5s. If you lose game number 1, game number 2 almost feels like the single most important game of the series, because the 2 different roads you could go on, either you're going into an even series if you can find a way to come back 1-1, sure, that's awesome, or you go down 0-2 and have to find yourself a reverse sweep, one of the hardest things to do in any esport.
Yeah, especially in a best of 5. It's not as difficult as a best of 7, but it certainly is not an easy task by any means. So I'm really looking towards St. Thomas University, right? If they can't win this, I'm gonna be sending that copium a little bit downwards, right? Maybe they'll be able to make it happen, but that likelihood just is so low. And we actually are going to be getting in really swiftly, as already kickoff bound, but it is Keiser University to have a little bit of a boost. Now Vanderveen instantly going to have a little bit of a difficult chance as they get that refresh and back up to 100 on the boost. It's a little bit of a disarray for St. Thomas University, right? They have to kind of patch up that defense a little bit as everyone kind of swerves up towards offense. So Wiz is going to be able to swerve this ball right off course, sending it down to the corner, and Lux is just going to be able to make something happen. As Swizz does get back up, refreshes, that gives them that possibility to work the defense, and they'll do that exactly as planned.
That was chaotic, but it's good enough, I guess, for the defense. That's been the story from St. Thomas over and over again, is how chaotic can the defense be while they still succeed? The answer is yes. Reese with still 100 boost, hands it off to the teammate. It's a 1-2-3 play. Reese does get a bump off the back line, but Swizz still finds a way to get back to the air, back to their line, and gets the clear.
Lux is going to try and make something happen. As the ball does land on the ceiling, it drops down instantaneously. MK Julian going to set it right down, playing passive. Oh, trying to air dribble it all the way across the world, but it will be sent flying in the end. As this has been a little bit more of a passive game so far, but Julian going to completely take that off. They missed their first chance, but that second air dribble goes all the way their way, as they send it right on in, not allowing Lux to be able to find that second touch, and that's devastating, to say the least.
I mean, these aerial mechanics, there's a reason this team is 3-1. There's a reason they've relied on each other so much. That one goes down as a solo play. Their aerial dominance continues across the backboard as another long-range shot doesn't connect. Reese tries to find the net as well, but it's too powerful to the right side. Secondary, yes sir, gets it back off the backboard. And Keiser, with this lead here, they rarely led. In that last game, it was only in towards that overtime winner where they had that advantage. St. Thomas needs to get back in control and not allow that scoreline to get out of hand.
I believe one of the main things, right, that is going to be calling this St. Thomas University's name down to the 2-0 deficit is going to be that fact that they're currently in a situation that has never happened to them. This is the first time that they've actually been losing in a game. Every other time it has either been the end of the game or when they've been winning or tied. Now, there's the second one. Julian is coming on a line. We saw them doing this, right? End of last game, they found their goal on the backboard. This is the second time they've been able to do that. This is 2-0 goals for them. In this game alone, this is 3 in a row for them. Keiser University last game, it was really, really a one-sided affair from Reese, who was able to make it happen until that final goal. This time you have that second player looking to be that striker necessary to deliver win, and I think that this is a really good form for them.
And it feels like everybody on Keiser right now is just working with a ton of patience, which is really impressive for how fast their offense is going, for how many attempts they're getting to the sky. It seems like almost every single drive upfield, they're able to attack that upper third, to hit it off the window pane, and get themselves a good set. Reese just adds some mechanics on the end. Why don't you? Vander's got the pickup, but the centering feed is a little bit off target.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a really uncomfortable ball to hit for Vanderveen. They tried to make a set, but it just went awry, and is now Swizz going to try and play the contention. Second shot comes in, but instantly sent down. Luckily, Luck is going to be waiting in this goal. But all right, let's see whether or not Lux is going to be able to make something happen with this refresh, instantly burning all of it, but they might have some opportunity. Reese still going to be playing far back as that goalkeeper, but unfortunately, Lux no boost. Back up to 100. Swizz, 70 of their own, and they firepower through! Llama, it's all going to be Swizz. Finally going to be putting themselves on the board. First goal of this series, but they're looking absolutely dominant, just making that physicality work to their favor.
A broad daylight robbery. I mean, just absolutely steals it straight from his front fender. And now all of a sudden, the lead is 1. A much more manageable deficit here from the Bobcats. Right away, Julian, shot on target. Aerotol has to deal with it, and it's back to that midfield offense. Playing very far forward. Does it work out for them? A secondary no good. How about the third? A fadeaway off the crossbar. Connects, but connects too high.
Looking good, to say the least, on this STU roster. A minute remains. Can they pause and close this gap? Delivered by Keiser University. A nice pinch, sets it down to the midfield. Lux is going to be the first one to be able to make the touch. Reese trying to make something happen. Down and out, though. Unable to get that goal in, but Lux, oh, you can't be allowing this. Sends themselves right on in off of the flip, and it's St. Thomas University. Despite being down 2-0, 1 minute remains, and it only takes 10 seconds to push them back up and equalize.
It's just so unfortunate. They run into each other on the backside rotation. Reese connects with MK Julian and just loses control of the ball. Gives a free goal over. Now we're tied up, or are we? Airtel has to make a last-second save. Julian's back to the center as Vander can't get their centering shot, but Reese definitely can. Backboard, center again. No boost there, but Lux still makes the defensive save, and Reese is right back to it. A buffet of offense once again saved away.
Looking phenomenal for this St. Thomas University being able to make the retake, but you gotta give credit where credit is due. The explosive firepower that Keiser University has been able to push is going to be exactly what's needed. 13 seconds left, puts the nail in the coffin as Reese, they've been a little bit slower this game, but when it matters most, that's the player you're looking to make the goal. Scored a hat trick game 1. The team scores 3 in game 2. In St. Thomas University, they need an answer, but at 13 seconds, they're going to try and play offensively. But Keiser University, a little bit fast on the punch, and it will be this St. Thomas University to go down 2-0 unless an absolutely heroic play comes out, but it hits the pitch, and Llama, that might just be it.
A game decided by teammates running into each other. The second goal given over from Keiser because they ran into each other, and then at the end of the game, STU just can't get it as the teammates try and get the pinch together. A well-fought game, and almost very similar to that one that went to overtime in game number 1. Hard fought, very arduous, and for both teams, they had their chance to the sky. And there's a reason that, again, they're 3-1, that they've only dropped a single series throughout this entirety of their spring regular season.
Yeah, I mean, I do have to give a lot of credit, though, right? St. Thomas University, despite Keiser's absolutely phenomenal, absolutely dominant in every regard, they have been super, super good. It's been close. It's been surprisingly close, right? I came into the series thinking, okay, one team's 3-1, one team's 1-3. Yes, there's that possibility for the upset, but realistically, right, we're going to be expecting Keiser to be a little bit more dominant. They're also playing on their own setups, right? St. Thomas University, they're coming into a brand new location. But despite that, it's looked like they've found form, right? I mean, Lux has been really, really strong, finding 4 goals within the past 2 games, 3 of which came as a hat trick. And Swizz as well was able to make something happen. And despite all of that, CR Eridol was the player to have the highest score in this game. They've been phenomenal when it comes to their saves. 3 this game, showcased a little bit of assisting power as well, especially when it came to, I believe it was Swizz's goal. But overall, this team looks good, right? I mean, obviously Keiser, their mechanical brilliance is nothing to scoff at in any regard. Reese especially, right? Such a strong player, and Julian as well. It's just came alive. Vanderveen was really good on the defense as well as being able to put up pressure, but unfortunately they haven't been able to score that goal yet that we do really look towards, right? Game 3, I'd like to see them coming alive a little bit more, as well as everyone on that STU roster, right? I want to see that Game 5 come out, and I think it would really, really be fun, especially when you are playing on LAN. Llama, that would be super sick to be able to see happen.
I mean, more games for us, more games for them. That would definitely make all of us happy. I think Keiser would love to, get the day over with early, get themselves back to their setups and back to grinding ranked or whatever they're doing in terms of their practice. And you mentioned Swizz actually scoring a goal in that last game. I think that's incredibly important going into the rest of the series where you're wanting the Bobcats to step up all across the field. I think Lux had another really good game. Aerotol, we've seen what they can do in the offensive side in weeks past, even though much more of a defensive-minded player, very good as that third man to be able to make some saves. But when they put Aerotol out of position, that is when they have scored. So the tough thing is, we both said it, the games have been very close, the games have been very tight, but at the end of the day, the series score right now is 2-0 Keiser, and right now they have 3 chances to try and close out the series.
Yeah, 3 opportunities are coming on for them. Can they secure it? We will see, but just in general, right, that dominance that has been displayed. Keiser University, they've just been looking so good. But we are going to go to a quick little break. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. They're swapping setups. They're coming back in, though, as we enter possibly the opportunity for St. Thomas University to make that retake, bring it back for a reverse sweep, but more likely, this domination from Keiser might just continue.
Everyone is searching for the right fit to blend community, a career-centered focus, and the opportunity to make a difference. Where friendships are formed and students always come first. Our reputation was built in Florida, a not-for-profit university with over 40 years of history, thousands of graduates, on campus and online, and now with a 100-acre residential campus. This can be your right fit. We are Keiser University.
At this time, Keiser Athletics would like to thank the following donors. At this time, Keiser Athletics would like to thank our proud sponsors. Duffy's Sports Grill, Hawthorne Suites by Wyndham, Hilton Garden Inn by The Outlets, Holiday Inn by the Airport, USA Foam, and Witch Doctor Tackle, custom fishing rods made for you. At this time, Keiser Esports would like to thank their proud sponsor, Coastal Cava.
Welcome back, everybody, to EGF's live coverage of Collegiate Rocket League. Here for our Sun Conference action, live in person at Keiser University. We had a little bit of a situation. Last game, although Keiser did end up winning, St. Thomas was acting like some sort of wizards. They were flying through the ball and magically not hitting it. So we're going to do a little bit of a reset. We're not going to play a full game. We're basically going to play a golden goal or a first goal wins in the next game to see who wins game number 2.
Which honestly, very fair indeed, right? 13 seconds were remaining. More likely than not, nobody was going to be able to score that one. But in the end, due to some technical errors, that did give Keiser University the win theoretically, right? You know, in another reality where they weren't playing on land and didn't see, oh, why are we flying through the ball? And yes, so we're gonna be getting back on in, right? We're playing that overtime. We're going into this, and this is now, I mean, you know, we're not gonna say it, but you know, it could be as good as the last one, right? 4-minute overtime certainly was cool. Certainly was something that was very, very special to open up a very, very special night, and hopefully we'll see some more fun action coming out as we do enter the pitch once more. But yeah, this is really going to be St. Thomas's time, right, to come back, right, make something come a little bit better than what we saw in game number 1, where they did end up falling short in that 4-minute overtime, right? Very, very close game. However, in the end, that's just that aggression, that proactivity was just so dominant, right? Keiser University constantly forcing that defense from St. Thomas University. And yes, St. Thomas Bobcats, they looked good forcing that defense, right? They made it work consistently, but unfortunately, taking advantage of that kind of over-aggression just didn't really come out too much, Llama.
They haven't found as much of those midfield touches and some of those mistake punishes that they did in that similar game number 1. But now you've got a real chance to try and step up to get your score early, especially if it's just a who can score the first goal. I think the Bobcats actually have a pretty good chance of that. During the start of these games, they've been pretty aggressive, finding some of those mistakes clearances. And if they can find a good kickoff or two, all of a sudden that becomes a much easier game to win. And again, we go back to our earlier conversation. This is still going into a game number 2, where even if one goal decides it, it's such different transitions that you go on to. You either go onto a road where we're back to even, we're back to a 1-1 scoreline, or we're back to an 0-2 in terms of where Keiser already was with that redacted game win in game number 2.
Yeah, it's gonna be very, very close, and this is really, it's exactly what you're saying, right? Like, this is the necessary time, and I cannot overstate that. If I'm on St. Thomas University, this is where we can make that comeback happen, take this first goal early, find an explosive start to enter this pitch, and if you can get a good kickoff, find that early goal, that can be exactly what's necessary. And I think that, you know, 1-1, you just turn that best of 5 into a best of 3 instead of having to win 3 games in a row. That's it's very nice, right? That's what we're looking for. That's what Keiser University is going to be really, really hoping to. And yeah, we'll see what happens, as there's still going to be a bit of time before we do get on into the action. I want to get a prediction from you right now, right here, Vama. How long you think this game's going to go?
At least 2 minutes. Come on, we can't go under that. That'll feel like it's not long enough. I want to see a really long back and forth battle of defenses, and realistically, I don't want to see this one come down to a mistake. Golden goal, game number 2. Let's do it.
I disagree. I'm saying 40 seconds we'll find it. And I'm even wrong. Luck instantaneously pulls it back out of nowhere despite the disappointments of game number 2's original ending. It's all going to be Lux to send it home. 6 seconds and the St. Thomas Bobcats find the equalization 1-1.
That was a really lovely goal. It was anticlimactic for sure for all the build-up we got for the game, but the real credit of that goal goes to Swizz. I mean, we've talked about when this team is going to step up as a whole, as a complete 3-man unit, and Swizz gets this perfect lob-up pass that sets the team up for success. That puts us back to now a 1-1 series. One goal, we often say, can change the series, and now truly, it rings true with a Game 2 victory coming through from the golden goal overtime.
absolutely tragic for Keiser, right? They took the winning game took it to 3-2 after being up 2-0, right? They had such a dominant start, and then the comeback started. It was really, really good. St. Thomas was just able to make that comeback and deliver an equalizer going into overtime. They sent it, and it was not overtime, sorry, it was just going into the end of the game. Looked like we were going to overtime. 13 seconds on the board, and oh man, Keiser University sends it flying, but it was retracted. They said, we're going again. We're going for the keepsies. And yeah, 6 seconds was all luck needed, and said, yeah, this is my kickoff. And that really does go to show, right? Not only the power that this team possesses, Llama, but it also shows just the absolute risk taking that they're willing to do. And you don't get a kickoff like that without taking risks. If that fails, there's a real chance that Keiser University is sending it into your goal. But they took the chance, they gambled their future, and said, we are going to make this happen, and it did.
Well, with that game number 2 over, we'll get back to our full 5 minutes of action here in game number 3. And the series is even. We're back to a best of 3, basically. You've got to win 2 before losing 2. And whoever wins this game will get 2 chances to do exactly that. The biggest thing I'm going to be looking for is, A, the aggression. Swizz and crew already getting up past that midfield line. Getting across the timeline multiple times is going to be the ideal scenario. But Reese once again showing their scoring ability. 1v3 to the back of the net.
Tragic. Nobody's able to make the touches. Luke staying back, and that's all luck, just unable to make the touch, and that's really, really tragic, right? Bouncing off the green, working into the net. It's St. Thomas University once more put on the back foot. This looks very much like game number 2, where they were having to struggle. However, there's still a lot of time, there's still a lot of opportunity. They try and force it in with a second touch after the block, but it does go a little bit wide, send to the corner, and now Reese going to be able to deliver the ball all the way back to opposition.
Backboard defense that eventually coagulates to Swizz getting a midfield touch, but it's immediately met. And that's what Keiser's been doing this game. 1-2-3 tic-tac-toe. Vander goes for the backflip instead of the forward pressure, trying to give their teammates some extra time. And Lux has got a good clear. The good news is the aerial defense has been much improved from Keiser here in this game. Some of those mistakes that we saw on the back end have been stopped, and players like Aerotol have just been taken out in total from that offense on the front side. Really good save there from Reese.
Some demos come out on either side. Sent towards center, tries to go for a very low 50-50. Will just be a demo. At this point, St. Thomas back on the back foot is hit centered. Back over, goes on Reese, tries to make the follow-up happen, but will be unavailable.
Julian's position there in the sky too. Getting to see a lot of different attacking angles, that they're not just going from the sidewall constantly. Here Reese goes again, 14 boost in the tank is going to leave for the teammate. Couldn't get the bump there, and Vanderveen just not able to score. But a lot of good looks. On the other side, Lux has already used all their boost on that defensive side, so nothing can comprehend even a shot on that orange side of the pitch.
But Aerodol able to force it through. Maybe not for long, as Swizz gonna give it a little bit of a lack of movement. And just kind of playing dancing, finds their way, evading all 3. That's an open net, but they can't make the touch. Llama, that's tragic for the St. Thomas Bobcats. As they attempt to get in, they send it over, but all luck's just there for the defense, and they're able to defuse the situation really, really swiftly. Still, though, so many players looking to march in, but Reese once more standing tall, standing proud, a unwavering giant in the face of St. Thomas.
Just incredible. I mean, the all-around play right now from Keiser is good. They're going to try and work together. Reese overextending just a hair, and Lux has got a 2-on-1. The good news is Vanderveen has got their back covered. Just straight up, smooth as butter through that left side look. And with only 2 minutes left to go, although Keiser only leads by 1, domination has been the only word for their game number 3 control. And they'll find another off of the pass from Reese to Vanderveen.
It's really given deja vu. But now it certainly does ask the question of, can St. Thomas pull it back, right? They were able to do it before, 2-2. It's a minute 50 left. They got a little bit of time to work with, but not necessarily enough to really pull out 2 goals, especially when they haven't in this third game whatsoever. Going down 2-1, it would certainly be devastating, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. It's a very thin line that just needs to be crushed. Let's see, Keiser University. Can they end it, or will we get that return? As of now, looks like this proactivity and dominance that Keiser is showing will be enough, but they miss out on the touch, and that's tragic, as it's absolutely dominant. Finally, we are going to be seeing Aerodome putting themselves on the board, as Reese misses on the first, Vander misses out on the second. Both players attempting, and Alama, they absolutely pull out a miracle from St. Thomas.
It's pretty beautiful. I think that they're contesting a lot heavier at this midfield, and especially from Aerodome, that's a good player to contest. That's Reese, that if you can get a good confident body on the bar, Reese tries to go for the double, but launches it too far out of their favor. Might have actually been looking for a pass there to Vander Veen, who also didn't have the boost. Swizz, talking about no boost. Nobody here in this orange half has anything to play for. Aerodome with a dangerous touch puts MK Julian all set up to go. 1 goal needed from the Bobcats with 60 seconds to go.
Goal in 60 seconds, definitely not impossible. Won't be easy. This is exactly when they got to do it. Right, Swizz able to refresh on the boost. Can it make it happen? Forcing it through. Gonna be able to make a touch, but it does still stay to the corner. Centered, but Vander Veen able to make the touch of their own, bringing it back. Lux, however, lands right in time for that ball. Going their way, refreshing. Can they send it in? Vander Veen finally gonna be able to make a touch and delivering it back to the side. The offense still reigns supreme.
Offense is everything right here, right now. With 20 seconds to go, the Bobcats need to surge to find something. Vander Veen is just trying to play keep away, but Swizz gets a nice touch over top. It's just one man. Reese on that defensive look that gets the save and puts it down to 5 seconds. Lux tries to go for the aerial trade away, and Julian just delays the time. Corner boost stolen, drop down is there, and Keiser survives a Game 3 gauntlet and puts themselves back up in the advantage.
We have not seen a single game that has not gone to a 1-goal lead. It's been so close, Llama, and we are still seeing it, right? Aerodome, the one to be able to find that goal for the Bobcats this time. It really does go to show, right? Everyone on this team has that scoring opportunity, but it's the exact same thing on the other side, right? Despite Julian, however, having a lot of heroics in Game 1, Game 2, this time it's going to be very much that Vander Veen and Reese show, able to deliver 2 goals on their own right. Reese assisting Vander Veen's and having 1 just by themselves. Really dominant performance from Reese still, as they have been absolutely tremendous throughout this entire series. And I just want to keep seeing them doing it, right? They've been really good, and I think they're going to continue to be really good in this game number 4. Whether or not that will be the final game, or whether or not we will see that Game 5, Alma, that'll be up to fate. But as of now, it is certainly seeming as if this Keiser squad is in really good forms.
Yeah, they're looking good, and I think one of the tough things about that game was it was a lower scoring game. So for the Bobcats, they didn't have as many scoring opportunities, but also because Keiser was just playing this controlled midfield ball, I would much rather be a team that's shooting and missing all my shots than having to defend perfect shot after perfect shot. I will say the Bobcats and their kickoffs are continuing to improve, but they need to win this game if they want to go to a 5th and final.
Being good on the kickoffs, unfortunately, Keiser just a little bit better when it comes to that midfield control, and that's certainly showing in game number 4. Ball scores after hit up by Vander. It's absolutely dominance from Reese. 19 seconds in, and they keep it floating in air. CR about to make that return, about to be able to find the block, but unfortunately the tempo just slowed down from Keiser. They don't make that shot as soon as they have the opportunity to, and it just absolutely outpredicts what St. Thomas was expecting. And now it's all just going to be Keiser University once more on that front foot. This is 3 games in a row that they have found the first goal in.
It's a tough one to miss. Reese gets the backward save, and yeah, straight to your point. I think Keiser, just control has been the name of their game. Their aerial offense, their work together. Even on that last drive, you saw MK Julian, who didn't get credited with the assist, gets in, gets the bump on the back line after Vander Veen gets that assist. Here's a setup, and here's a goal. Lux will find it off of Aerodome setup.
able to return it. I was not expecting. I thought we would be seeing another 2-0s. That's been what we've seen all night long, right? Whoever scores that first always has been able to secure that second, but this time we're finally going 1-1. So can Keiser University deal with that, or will they be a little bit more on that kind of down and tilted momentum after having St. Thomas University really putting out all the stops, and Lux is able to just make a really low goal, right? It was nothing fancy. It was just good mechanics that do give them the win in the end in terms of finding that second goal on the game. So really good work, and now they're gonna have to continue that. However, as Reese is centering it, looking to try and hit it into the hands of Julian, but unfortunately it's, oh, that's tragic, but Reese with the follow-up still lands it in the penalty zone. That's where they're the strongest, and they're certainly displaying it here and now.
Just chumming the water with a bunch of sharks in the area. Reese was bound to score there, no matter, even if those two players committed, had the one-on-one no matter what. And Keiser finding their lead once again. Their aerial offense continues, but also it's those small things. You talk about the reason they were able to get that goal was a lot of their boost management, their ability to steal those midfield pads and push forward to steal some of those corners is big. Off that backboard, nice save from Reese, puts their body on the line.
Refreshing the boost, Julian able to send it down, but it is still Luck. Will keep it high. Oh, Reese, however, going to be able to have a nice predicament, leaving STU in the back foot. Swizz still going to be able to make some kind of aerial adjustments, but Lux is down as the demo comes out from Reese. Vander Veen in a good spot, but it is just going to be hit out, right? Sent back to the corners. Swizz able to make it happen. Vander Veen dropping in, able to refresh the boost. Back up to 100 at 52 currently. Sends it high. Julian looks to try and be able to force it down, but unfortunately down to the corners all it goes.
Other worldly defense here for the Bobcats. Reese, a nice back-to-back save action, and nobody's back here. Swizz able to get the boost going, and a backflip through the paint doesn't find another goal. The problem is right now the Bobcats, they're playing near perfect on that defensive side. They just need to find something like a 1v1 win on that other side. They've committed everybody. Resets it up in the air, but their teammate was knocked off their line before they could get back to the ground. With 2 minutes left to go, Keiser, who still leads in the series, who only needs one more game to take the series, is still in the advantage position until now. So Swizz slices that lead to pieces.
And did you see that shot? Look at that. They hit it against their opponent's car, and it lands in the absolute perfect spot, driving forward. No expectation of that ball going to be landing right there, but instantly, oh man, that was absolutely insane. And I don't like saying no goals are lucky in Rocket League, but that one is absolutely lucky without a single doubt in my mind. Because how on earth can you predict that, yep, I'm going to hit their car and that ball is landing right in front of my teammates?
Good double work there from MK Julian. I mean, it's just that extra effort, though, for the Bobcats right now that's keeping them in this game. Can they find the aggression, though, to keep things alive? They need one more goal to win here in regulation, or at least to take the lead at this point. With 80 seconds left to go, you've got to stop Reese. Such a spark plug here for this team. Dropping it down to Julian, and even though he gets a base, it'll still be a score.
Dominating this game still, despite the miracles, despite the heroics shown by St. Thomas. It's all back in favor. Keiser University taking the lead back again once more. Kickoff going to go the way of Keiser, but it isn't going to be a goal converted just yet. Reese going to hit it a little bit too far on the wideness, and it's going to be left down. Luck, sorry, going to be sending back towards the center. Goes for the 50-50, very, very low. Both teams heading to a 2v2 as the demos come out, but that will favor Keiser as they're closer to the ball on the respawn. 50 seconds, and it's a similar situation to what we've seen consistently tonight, where St. Thomas University just in the back foot so heavily. And that one goal deficit would be tragic to see them go out now.
All it takes is one. I mean, realistically, one single goal from the Bobcats, and you could turn this into another overtime. Vander Veen and crew under a lot of pressure right now. They're going to try and worm their way forward. It's a nice 1v1 win from Aerotel, but you need more than that. Swizz loses track of the ball as it bounces backwards, floats aerial, and Lux takes the charge, and Swizz barely gets to the corner boost before their opponents do. 10 seconds to go. The series on the line here, and Aerotel makes another awry shot that keeps things alive. But Vanderveen keeps in the offensive side. 000's oncoming, and a floater and scorer! Reese has got the dagger in hand, and Keiser is victorious.
An absolute tragedy for the St. Thomas University as they head down a 3-1 game score, putting up such good numbers, absolutely contesting this each and every time, looking so good. Unfortunately, in the end, this best of 5 on LAN at the Keiser University Stadium will be going the way of the home team. Keiser University pulls away, going up 4-1 within the overall standings, and that leaves St. Thomas in a big deficit. Gonna have to be fighting Fire University for that number 4 slot, but it is certainly going to be looking rough for them as they head down to 1-4.
Yeah, it's a really tough loss. I think for St. Thomas, you look at their first series on the year or on this season, I should say, in the spring semester, that isn't a sweep. Either they've 3-0'd or they've 0-3 for almost every single one of their matches until today. I think their fight was really good. You look at the series and you say every single game, even the redacted game, was decided by just a single goal. They had really good kickoff strats. They're building something really special there, but just need to find a bit more of their midfield offense. And for Keiser, it's all props. I think they really used their aerials well. They bounced back. I think after losing that overtime 1-1 goal, whatever you want to call it, that golden goal scenario, a lot of people would be mentally booed, but they found a way to bounce back.
Looked phenomenal from them, and unfortunately in the end it was not enough for the Bobcats. They could not pull through in this LAN matchup. Who knows what was the big root cause of this, whether or not it was that mental coming on a new environment, whether or not it was the PC issues we saw in game number 2, or if it was just that mechanical brilliance, especially from players like Reese, who were just consistently on the top of that scoring leaderboard and really just pulling through in all the stops. But overall, very good game, super fun to watch, kept going down to the wire in each game, and that's really what you love to see in these LAN matchups, right? If it's a stomp, nobody ever likes going home after that, but when it's a game as close as this, you got to imagine both teams are going to be happy with the results and able to come back next week, hopefully fresh off of a decent game.
I mean, how fun is it that these teams again get to play inside of Keiser University's LAN Center? You get to see the friendliness there at the end. Obviously, coaches shaking hands, players shaking hands. We love to see that, but we also love to see that they were willing to, for Keiser to host, for St. Thomas to travel out there and get there. I think these two teams are just powerhouses that are continuing to build up not only their facility, but also everything inside of their program as well.
Really is real. It's just so great, right? And you see it right there, dapping each other up. They're having a good time, and it is nice to see, right? The sportsmanship, the friendliness that is always loved in esports, and it is kind of a little bit like, what's the word? You don't see it as much, honestly, right? Having kind of these friendly rivalries instead of rivalries that are solely built on competition without much enjoyment in each other, right? You love to see teams getting to really just enjoy each other's presence.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I mean, we kind of were joking around that they've got to be pretty good friends to both agree to a redaction of game number 2, and you can tell that they're just dedicated to their craft. And I think it's also so special that we get to witness this kind of next generation that is not only focused on developing their kind of esports career as a whole, but also we've got to remind ourselves that these are students who are kind of right in the neck of the woods in their spring semester for whatever they're studying. So a huge congratulations out to them. For, I know some of the schools across the VGF, they're going to have players graduating, which is always the coolest thing, because then we get to see the next generation, and that just continues the building blocks into infinity.
Yeah, absolutely love to see this coming through, getting to have so much competition in the EGF, and Yeah, I mean they obviously are enjoying it, or else they wouldn't have been here, right? You wouldn't have made that trip. I'm not entirely sure what that distance does look like, but you've got to imagine that this was a big out of the way thing for St. Thomas University players, right? To come out, say hi, have this matchup in person, and you know I gotta give him a lot of props for it, right? I hope you saw the coach being there as well, right? Taking time out of their day, taking time out of their busy schedule to come play esports, watch esports, coach esports. In general, everyone who came out today, got to give a big round of applause to, because it's not an easy thing by any means.
Yeah, I mean, and the parents behind them too. You see all the coaches and all the support staff. The game doesn't get decided necessarily on the game. It's because all of those other players and all of the support that they have around them. So lots of fun here today and just the start of it. But before we end off on this first series, we're going to get ourselves a little bit of an interview with the winning Keiser squad. So we're going to head to just a short little bit of a break. You don't go too far. We'll be right back after this.
Born to conquer, spread my wings. Castles built on hope's foundation, rivers run with pure elation. Through the storm I'll find my way, triumph shines like break of day. Tides may turn but I remain steady, strong, won't yield to pain. In the end the truth will show, strength and heart the seeds we sow. I've got a heart that's never quitting, in this race I'm always sprinting. Feel the power, victory sings. Born to conquer, spread my wings. Tides may turn, but I remain steady, strong, won't yield to pain. In the end, the truth will show, strength and heart, the seeds we sow. I've got a heart that's never quitting, in this race I'm always sprinting. Feel the power, victory sings. Born to conquer, spread my wings.
tomorrow. The moment is now. With a heart full of thunder, don't ask why or how. In the ruins of glory, find your ticket to ride. It's a roller coaster, baby. Buckle up for the ride. Get it, come get it if you think you can. Break through the noise like a madman. There's a fire burning deep in the night. Get it, come get it if you've got the night. Get it, come get it if you think you can. Break through the noise like a madman. There's a fire burning deep in the night. Get it, come get it if you've got the night.
Welcome back, everybody, to EGF's live coverage of Collegiate Rocket League. Here for the Sun Conference, we got to watch an amazing LAN matchup between Keiser and STU. Keiser walks away victorious 3-1, and we are here today with the victorious Van der Veen after the 3-1 victory. Van der Veen, how you feeling? How does it feel to win on LAN against your opponents that are right next to you?
Oh no, it feels good. My teammates actually know these guys, so it was a cool thing to set up and bring them out here and play together. I got to meet them, and it was a lot of fun. I haven't done a LAN event in a couple years, so it was nice to get back into it.
It's awesome. Cherry, you have some questions?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, right, we saw you consistently putting up good numbers, and these players, you mentioned it right then, your teammates know, right? So just to get you a little bit in depth on how we kind of see them. How have you, like, what's your relationship to these guys? Do you like play with them online a little bit, right? Do you run 6v6s a lot online, or is this like kind of like a really once in a blue moon thing?
So this is kind of new to me, playing with the St. Thomas guys. MK knows Luca, so they play a lot together. But for me, it was a new experience to actually play and meet these guys. The people I play with is usually Reese and Julian.
Makes sense. So just to follow up on that, right? You guys, you haven't really played with them too much, but Warner University, right? Those are the team. That's the one team that you fell short of playing against, right? So besides them, do you have any teams that you're really like looking forward to playing against within the Sun Conference, or what's your kind of next step you're looking to?
I mean, I know you said besides them, but for me, it is Warner. For the fact that I used to play Rocket League a long time ago, and I took a long break, and then that was our first game together as like a team. Like I came in to fill a spot, and we were neck and neck the whole time for our first game, still building that chemistry. And I really think our guys now, with the energy that we have, we can take it back.
That's awesome. I mean, your guys' energy was awesome. It was cool to see you guys getting to play kind of, again, in person against your opponents. What made today's match different from some of the rest of the matches throughout the course of the season?
So for me, it made it feel more like an actual Rocket League event, to where like when we come in and we hop on the computers and we play, you know, it's like, oh, it's just another like ranked match. You know, we're just playing to play. To where this one, and then last week when we had the official stream as well, it made it feel more Rocket League. It made it feel more professional. And so it was like the energy was up, everybody was excited, everybody was playing good, rather than like, oh, hey, you know, let's just go next game. It was, hey, let's just keep going. Like even after we played the 4 matches, we're like, hey, anybody kind of want to stick around? Because it was just a fun time.
That's awesome. I mean, it seemed like you guys were having fun with them. They were having fun playing you guys. I mean, even gentlemen's agreement back in game number 2 to go to that final overtime.
Yeah.
I did have a question. Was it louder than usual with all of like the other parents and people in there?
Yeah, so there was definitely a lot of cheering, which I think brought more energy rather than like more awkwardness. So last season when we had Bailey brought in the soccer team and they were loud and excited. And so it's nice to see like actual audience here and enjoying the time and having fun. You know, because we also stream it too, but we can actually interact with people here. So I think it elevated everybody's gameplay to have friends and family here.
Well, speaking of those friends and family, I won't keep you too long. I'll give you a chance, kind of an open floor here if you want to shout out any friends, family, teammates, coaches, whoever. This is kind of your open floor to do so.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I definitely want to shout out my teammates first for giving me the opportunity and kind of working with me. Like I said, I took a lot of time off. I used to be a high rank. I used to play Rocket League a lot as esports, but life kind of happened, and now I'm coming back, and they're like, hey, we'll work with you. They're coaching me. They're training me. You know, I might miss a few shots, but I love to assist, and I love setting it up for these guys to score. So, and then I want to shout out, obviously, my family, my mom and dad, because they tune in every stream. You know, they're always chatting. And then my brother Amador, he's here all the time too. So shout out to them for showing us, you know, love and always being here.
Well, that's awesome to hear. I mean, a tight-knit group you guys have. Thank you so much for taking time to interview today.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right, the victorious Van der Veen and the victorious Keiser University as they pick up another win. You were talking about the standings, Cherry J, and how they are in now a really, really good spot overall to put themselves into a playoff position to make a late run for themselves. And getting to hear that their confidence is there and even higher, that they're like, okay, Warner, you're coming for us now. We're on a collision course to face each other once again.
Yeah, realistically, we will be seeing them taking on a grand final, right? Those two teams, phenomenal individuals, and that's not just it, right? They're not just individuals, they're a collective unit. We saw that especially, right? How he's talking about how his teammates trained him. They brought him into the system, brought him into that fold,